Oh. All right. Hello and welcome again to Malfunction Junction. My name is Dan, and today I will be doing the long awaited review of the new bright Forza Funco F9 1/14th scale toy grade RC vehicle. Well, controller looks like most new bright controllers, only it says Forza and it's the large type controller. The usual thing: up, down, left, right. Battery cover. This time they've started adding a screw, or they did with this one, to fasten it in place. There's also one here on the bottom to make extra sure that the battery cover does not come off once it's been locked into place. You get to double lock it by adding a screw that has a washer like piece made onto the screw head. Okay, so I've taken it out a few times since I bought it. And the last time I took it out, I got to really see how well it performs. Now, as I said in the unboxing video, the way you see it sitting, even the way you see it in the box with the little block of cardboard underneath it, when it's on all fours, it does not actually sit up that high. You set it down, it spreads out a little bit. The wheelbase spreads out a little bit. The suspension, let's see here. I guess I should have got a box or something before I did this so I could show you, but okay, I'll just pick it up like this. So this is the way it normally sits, the way that I'm holding it right now. It's about the level that it sits at, and it does still have a little bit of suspension travel, and it does have the ability to have body roll. The body roll is actually pretty good. this this new steering mechanism, steering box, it's a little different, and the adjuster is up here on the top. It's hard to see because it's the same color as the rest of the plastic, and it's easier to turn the dial on this model than it is on most other new brights that have the red dial. The whole piece here is very blocky, very thick. Uh, Altogether, the full steering box and uh, along with the front part of the suspension, pull my hand away from it. That's how thick. The gear ratio does seem to be around the same size as the 1/15th scale New Bright Von Guyton Jr. Brocky. So seem to be dealing with the same gears. A very similar setup. Only the front, at the front now we have a different steering mechanism, something that maybe is supposed to be enhanced. But it's hard to say. It's just different. Let's see. The steering radius is, it has its limits. That's as far as it will turn to the left. That as far as it will turn to the right. We'll go ahead and do a demo of that after I get it switched on here. There's the switch. So steering left, steering right. Okay, so it's not the worst steering that I've seen on a new Bright. Not even one of their off-roaders. I tested it in the dirt, on the sidewalk, in the grass, on the asphalt. The steering is kind of in a moderate area. It doesn't have the really sharp steering like the 1/14 RZR does. And it doesn't have the somewhat okay steering that the Vortex does. It's a little less than that, but it's not as bad as the steering was on the 1/10 scale heavy metal Jeep Wrangler. So it's not the worst steering that I've seen on a new Bright. It's just somewhere in the middle. And if you're running it on dirt, you're going to notice sharper steering, tighter steering, smaller circles than you will on asphalt or pavement. Asphalt or sidewalk, whatever. If you're running it in dirt, the fact that the rear tires are going to kick the back end out. What? Hang on a second. Let me pause this. Okay. Sorry about that. I think that was actually a noise from upstairs. Upstairs neighbors tend to be pretty loud sometimes. I thought that my brother was beating on my bedroom door. So, anyway, back to what I was saying. Uh, when you're driving it in the dirt, um, because of the rear wheels, the rear tires biting into the dirt as it's moving, because this is a four-wheel drive model with two motors, it's going to kick the back end out, which is going to if you're steering to the right, the back end is going to kick out to the left. Steering to the right, back end will kick out to the left, which is going to help it to make tighter circles in the dirt, and vice versa. If you're turning to the left, it's going to kick out in the back to the right a little, which is going to help it to make slightly tighter circles going to the left. It is fast enough and has enough torque that it can do that. If you run it on asphalt, it may come across as slow because it's clearly made for the dirt and low grass, sticks, running through dead leaves um, or over them, as long as there's not a whole lot of them. Little pebbles, little rocks, things like that. Let's see. I didn't have any trouble running it through some of the dead leaves out here, even some that were piled up about like that. Um, like most New Bright RCs, the throttle and the steering are all or nothing. If you, when you go over, it goes over things pretty well. It goes over terrain pretty well, and you can see the suspension actually operating. It does that well. You can actually see a little bit of articulation as it's making its way across bumpy terrain. And also, it can go over routes that are up to that high, and about that wide. If you hit them at full speed, it's going to pop a wheelie, and it can work two different ways. It can either wheelie out and go over backwards, or it can just do like a little wheel stand and kind of hang there in the air for a little bit and then flop back down and continue on its way. It all just depends on the angle you hit things at, the speed you're going, and the gravity. It did okay on the curb test. I curb tested it. If you approach a curb and slow down a little bit right before you get to it, and then go ahead and hit the throttle, it'll drive right up onto the curb, even if the curb is about that high. And when I say curb, I'm talking about, because of the concrete on the curb starting at the asphalt and being flat and having a rounded face and then going up and being rounded again. That's what I mean. It has to be like that, or it's not, or it's probably not going to perform well as far as the curb test goes. Hitting the curb, driving up the curb at an angle when in close proximity to the curb while sitting still, it can do that. It can handle it even if it's a little bit uphill at an angle. If it's downhill, even at a slight angle, most of the time it's going to roll over and not go up onto the curb. In the dirt and in the grass, the speed seemed to be good. But like I said, if you put it on asphalt and try to drive it compared to a car that is developed for driving on asphalt, this is going to look slow because clearly it's made for dirt, sticks, leaves, little rocks, reasonable tree roots. Now, if you look here, you'll see that the box here, when I'm holding it in the air, it's kind of hanging down. And you're probably thinking, oh no, well, that's bad because ground clearance, right? Well, when I set it down, well, let's see. Oh, I see now. Yeah. Okay, so that's the way it's supposed to be. It was hung up on the little thing that they have jutting out from the frame here. That the little security keys go in on the front and back. So I may have to remove that on mine. So because it was hung up under that, it wasn't doing right. Okay, so this is how it normally is. If you're holding it up in the air, you see that that's at a slight angle and it's hanging down kind of low. If you set it down on all fours, it seems to level out a little bit, and the ground clearance is, let's see, see if I can get something short enough to push up under there to check it. Okay, about 2 soda bottle caps high. That's about how much ground clearance there is between the table and the steering box. So, yeah, um, dropped something. Holding it in the air, this is how much articulation you have in the rear. Hold it level. It's very soft, very flexible, much more than what was on the Jeep Wrangler where the shocks seemed kind of stiff. These shocks are very, very easy. They, wait a minute now, they're not actually compressing. Now they're compressing. Yeah. But the springs are very soft. the, the links, the suspension links here on the front and back, very easy to flex. It has no trouble with its articulation at all. Same way on the front. The only thing that I can say that I don't like is this new steering box, which is not only top mounted, but it's also mounted in the back too, and it's very big. I don't understand why they went with this. Let's see if I can pull it down some so you can get a better look at it. Look how big that is. And then if you look at the top of it, how big that is. Other than that, I can't really think of anything to complain about because it is a fun RC. Um, if the steering were just a little bit sharper, it would do a little bit better. It would perform a little bit better. Um, but overall, I think it's a pretty good RC for $35. 34.90, however much. 34, 96, 97, 98, 99, whatever. Uh, and it performs well. It performs a lot like the 1/15th scale Brocky. Um, it almost is the same thing, just with smaller wheels and tires and a smaller body. Now, one of the things that did happen while I was driving it was this tire on the front right came part way off the rim, and I pointed that out in the unboxing. That before I unboxed it, I was playing with the tires, feeling of them and stuff, and noticed that the rear tires, that if I squeezed them, that it was like on the inside they were trying to come off the rim a little bit, or like they could slip off the rim. Um, the tires are pretty firm. As you can see, they are squeezable, but they're very plasticky, very hard vinyl tires. Even just squeezing them tight enough can cause them to slip off the rims. The only thing I can say about that is if you're going to buy one of these, probably if you're going to keep the tires that are on it, or even if you decide to change over to some other kind of tire, you may want to consider gluing the tires to the rims just to make extra sure that they're not going to come off. Just get you some hobby wheel tire glue, hobby tire glue and just follow the necessary precautions, safety measures, and stuff like that, and apply it. The look of it is very nice. I like the shape of the body. I like the little artificial engine in the back. You can see that it's got headers. If you look closely enough, I don't know if you can see that. See that it actually has little fans and pulleys. Well, it's supposed to look like it anyway. Unfortunately, it's all silver. I don't know if it's supposed to be that way, but it is. It has decent detail. You can even see a transmission if you look close enough. Yeah, it's even got a transmission. It's like a motor that's been put in from the rear, facing backward. I like the yellow around the outside of the rims and the 5-spoke black mag wheels. The tread works really well. This is a kind of tread that I'm not accustomed to seeing. Turning the front axles seems like it's just a little bit of stiffness there, like they're not turning as easily as the ones on the back would. Maybe that's normal. I don't know. I will not know until I take the front wheels off and then put them back on to see if I can get away with putting them on not quite as tight, and if that will change that. Because the last thing I want is to end up with stripped gears. Is there wheel wobble? A little bit, but it's not as bad as wheel wobble is on some other off-road models that they do. So, yep, this is a nice one, and I like it. And I do recommend that if you like Baja type trucks, uh, uh, just standard toy grade, uh, racing in the dirt, in low grass, over little twigs and sticks and rocks, and pushing through the leaves and things like that. I recommend this. I do. Um, just be careful when you hit some things that are kind of high and kind of flat. You hit it at the wrong speed and it goes up on its back wheels. It may not come back down. It may go all the way over. So, and like I said, it has moderate uh, performance steering. It's just kind of as far as New Bright goes. It has medium steering. You know, I would prefer that the steering were a little bit sharper, and maybe somewhere down the road I'll consider doing a modification or trying to that will do that for it. But so far, I'm liking it, and I'm planning on picking up another one for a modification project, and I'm going to leave this one stock. And I guess that's about it for this review. Yeah, it could stand to have softer tires on it. Other than the tires having problems coming off the rim sometimes, other than that, I can't really complain because it does drive well. Only, that thing again about the steering, it's moderate grade, new bright off road steering. So I'll let you be the judge and decide whether or not you want one. If you do, buy one, right now they are having an offer with it where you can get a let's see, I think it's over here on the table. Back here. This might be it. Yeah, they have an offer with it right now for it's a code for a free 30-day Xbox Game Pass trial code. How to redeem. Visit www.newbright.com/gamepass-promo. Enter in the 6-digit access code, complete the entry form. You will receive an email with your free 30-day Xbox Game Pass trial code. Offer is eligible to new subscribers only. Full terms and conditions available at www.newbright.com/gamepass-promo. So I have it here if anyone's interested. I thought that I had accidentally lost it or maybe thrown it away, but I found it when I was cleaning up the other day. So if there's anyone who wants it, I do not have an Xbox. Not any Xbox, not even the original. I did at one time, but anyway, I don't have an Xbox, so I have no use for this. So if there is anyone who would like to have this for themselves or for someone else, then just let me know in the comments. I guess if, say, 10 people, if 10 people leave a comment, then I'll write their screen names down in on little pieces of paper and stir them up in a bowl or something, and then reach in and draw one out. And whoever's name it is, I will mail this to you. You'll have to give me your email, and we'll have to do that junk. And you give me your mailing address, and I'll put it in the mail and send it on out. So that is the end of my review of the New Bright Forza Funco F9. And sorry if I dragged it out too long. I just was dealing with some distractions, a little bit of brain fog. I'll try not to do that the next time. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't, then give it a thumbs down and tell me why. Not so that I can be like, why you? I'll get you for that. Oh, you just wait. Oh, wait till I get my hands on you. Oh, it's not going to be like that. However you feel, tell me how you felt so I'll know. So that I can use that information to decide in the future, like, I need to take this into account to decide how to apply this information in my future videos to improve my future videos. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and have a good day.